Welcome back, folks, to the live stream from Strategies in Light in beautiful downtown San Diego. Greg.
That's right. Here we are. This episode is sponsored by the Bill Brown Sales Company, lighting industry's leading full-service component sales agency with 60-plus years of dedicated service.
And we have Anthony Corey here, CEO of Fulham. Anthony, welcome to the Get a Grip on Lighting live stream from Strategies.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we just bumped into each other over lunch there.
It was a big lunch.
It was a big lunch.
4 pieces of chicken. So
Did you have
fall
4?
asleep?
Yeah, for sure.
So you got to keep me awake.
A lot of protein.
That's it.
How did you get into the lighting game?
Like most people, I stumbled into it.
Did
I
you?
studied electronics at college, and when I graduated, I had the opportunity to join 2 different companies. One was a company where I'd become an engineer and sit inside a lab designing products for vending. Didn't really like the sound of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined a distributor that sold electronic components. This was fresh out of college in the mid-90s, 1995. I studied in Manchester in the UK. And I wanted to go and interact with humans, talk to people.
Sure.
So I started selling electronic components in 1995, which led me from digital electronics into lighting.
Mm-hmm. So you started in sales, though?
Yes.
That's what we like to see. We're all sales guys. We started our company.
Well, everyone's a sales guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyone who tells you otherwise is a liar.
For sure. So what's 2020? I mean, a lot's changed for Fulham in the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, good question. We've evolved. So originally this company was kind of born out of a product range that was designed to support fluorescent ballasts.
Yeah, sure.
And we were really good at it.
Yeah, you were.
We had so the original product family was called Workhorse because it was a workhorse.
Sure.
It did what people wanted. It didn't break.
It was versatile.
And we still have products 20-something years old that we're replacing today.
Sure.
So the industry and we as a company have evolved from conventional lighting into digital lighting. So we now have kind of 4 main strings to our bow. We still have our legacy products. The margins are great. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a range of power delivery devices, LED drivers, electronic ballasts, and power solution systems for many different kinds of companies. Light source, we do AC and DC, AC direct. We have a broad range of emergency products that are kind of mandated through safety code. So they go inside a luminaire or remote to a luminaire. And then we have a range of control systems. So we're kind of the only, I guess, the last independent lighting company that has power, light, emergency, and control that's still
Power, light, emergency, and control.
That's still operational today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know Fulham well, and we buy from Fulham. Okay. And
Thank you.
Yeah. Not one of it, but I remember you guys as a ballast company.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how in my mind I think of Fulham. I think of weird CFL ballast. Do you need those? Call Fulham.
Absolutely.
Right?
Keep doing that.
Yeah. But now it's like there's pressure for you to really wind that business down slowly and profitably over the next 10, 15 years. You're going to wind it down, I would assume.
Well, I think gravity will force the adoption to migrate eventually over to LED.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a significant part of our revenue. So rather than winding it down, we've become more sensible about range of products. So we've end of lifed a range of products that just didn't make sense to continue anymore. And you mentioned it. The good thing about that product family, about Workhorse, is its versatility. So we now have 5 or 6 different platforms that cover pretty much every power level that anyone would want. We're going to continue to manufacture those. We sell a lot of them, and that will continue. But I think the more weird and wonderful fluorescent products that are a little more unique to certain applications, we've lifed a lot of those, and we've migrated customers that were using those to the mass market products that we have.
So now the Workhorse, how many different combinations was it?
Ice horse.
I mean, like it would cover how many different types of lighting? It was like,
The pony.
You tell me.
yeah, it was like 1,000, right? Different configurations.
Different case sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had a
Thousands.
huge amount of ballasts,
Thousands.
man. Yeah.
Can you do that? You might say you already are, but I don't think anybody is in LED drivers. There's so many, and I'm so sick of it. And every time somebody tries to get it, the sizing's different.
Milliamps.
There are the tuning ones and all that, but it still doesn't work like the workhorse would.
It depends on the actual luminaire.
Okay.
So the luminaire really dictates the form factor, the shape and size and dimensions of the power system, of the driver that goes inside of it. So when you look at a spot downlight, it's a very compact fixture. So you've got to shove, an LED driver inside of it that can get in through the aperture.
Sure.
That someone, so you have the size and constraints to deal with there. A linear fixture, long and skinny. You got to develop a driver that's long and skinny. A high bay fixture, you've got a lot more real estate in there. A troffer, you have more real estate. So again, it's very much driven by the dimensions and the size of the actual luminaire that you're inserting the LED driver in. So in answer, kind of yes.
Yeah.
We have standard product platforms that are developed in these form factors that are supposed to be ubiquitous with those different fixture types.
So this Jaga thing, are you guys supporters of the Jaga consortium?
We're not, no.
No.
No, but the Zaga was more dimensional and stud mounting points for the actual LED delivery system.
Sure.
So the light engine, not the driver itself. But the industry is almost forced and dragged the industry and the luminaires and the LED drivers into these different dimensions. So let me give you an example. So when you look at a linear luminaire, they were born out of kind of T8 and T5 fluorescence, of which we have a lot of business. But those LED drivers have tended to be become inserted in the same cases that were T5 and T8 ballasts. So we develop those. Many others do too. They do them well.
So driver hand shape.
Yeah. Long and skinny that can go inside the luminaire without kind of ruining the aesthetics of a luminaire. We do that. And I use the example of a spotlight. Having something that needs to be very, very compact. And then the other part of it is making the driver configurable. So to answer your question, the first bit is the form factor. Will it fit? Can you shove it into that case? The second bit is what do you do with it once it's in there? Because every light source is different, and light sources respond differently to the drive current, the power, the dimming type, the dimming performance, the dimming curve, the dimming level.
Do you have all this figured out?
Yes. Kind of, yes. I'd like to think so. Yeah, well, I don't. I don't. But our engineering team does. Yeah, they're the smart guys. I just come on podcasts and take all of their credit.
Is the U.S. your biggest market?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. company?
Yes.
Okay. So a British guy took over.
Yes. Brexit.
There you go. Why not? So you're this transition. You're supporting the legacy technology, but you're kind of carving the line down a little bit. What do you see as growth for Fulham in the next 10 years?
Yeah. Well, we were talking a lot about that this morning. So I just presented at the Investor Forum, which is really to a group of investors that are interested in, okay, what is that next new technology? So from our perspective,
like beyond solid state to something else?
No, not really, not for us. We're not trying to go a leap too far. I mean, stick to what you're good at, stick to what you know, and excel at that. And that's what we do. We don't try to profess to invent the next technology. That's not us. We're very much a company that executes on good product with delivery. We have good service levels. Products have been around. We've been around for 25 years, and we want to be able to continue that legacy. So from us, that we see that a lot of the growth coming from kind of 4 or 5 market sectors. So the first is controls. So we have, some wired controls, but we have a new Bluetooth wireless controls platform, which has a lot of potential behind it that any lighting application could use that can, afford a Bluetooth controller. So we have that for retrofit, and we have that for kind of the OEM, and that's a product line that's embryonic for us. It's still in its relative infancy. We've got a number of trial installations that are going on.
But you're not moving SKUs day to day on that?
We're moving some volume, but it's certainly not a key part of our revenue stream yet, but it will be.
You're confident in that 100%?
Yeah, absolutely. I am, because I worked for a company previously that had a very, complex indoor lighting control system. Ours is much more simple.
Hmm.
I think simplicity is the key to
I
adoption.
prefer the word elegance over simplicity.
Well, there you go. Elegant.
You know what I mean?
that.
Like, I think things need to be elegant, not simple.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you're going to a good party and you pull up and the footman opens the door for you and you walk in and someone hands you a glass of champagne and takes your coat, and then you walk in and there's place names on the table and everybody knows where they're sitting, and then you get offered the right drink. I mean, what people want is elegance.
But I still want a beer with that glass of champagne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the double fisted too, man. So, but yeah, I mean, I think simplicity is, I think I know what you mean. I think it's what we want is elegance.
Yeah.
Something that works easy for people.
And our head of engineering uses that word a lot.
Does
so
it?
Alvaro, it's your word.
Alvaro.
It's elegant.
Elegant.
It's an elegant solution. And yes, it is. And it's elegant in its simplicity. So that's why I like it. I can use it. I can function it. So if I can do it, anyone can. So yeah, that's the controls piece.
So I've seen two busts and controls in my career. So I've been in the game 20 years. So I started in lighting in 99, 2000-ish, selling light bulbs on the street.
Yeah.
Like walking around to stores and selling people boxes of lights. And then in about 2004 or 5, we had the dual technology revolution. The sensors, microphonic and ultra, passive infrared or whatever. And then everyone's going to adopt controls now. And there was kind of like this, and then it didn't, there was a little bit of adoption, but not a lot. And then there was like the wired up connected stuff in 2010, 2011. Now there's a lot of talk and surge on the IoT side of it and the wireless connected controls, legitimate, like with Silvair Bluetooth systems and all this kind of stuff.
We use their software.
Yeah. Right. And it's like, it feels, is this one going to be the boom? Is it going to happen this time?
We'd like to think so, but we're not bankrolling the business on that boom. That boom absolutely needing to happen. And I think, the interesting part about Fulham is our diversity. Yes, we have an elegant solution and it's simplistic to use, but it's not. We don't rely on that revenue coming from this controls platform to be a viable ongoing company. We have a very diverse product portfolio of legacy products, of current products, power, light, emergency, and control. So the fact that we are diverse like that, and we're going to, by design, continue to focus in on all of those product platforms that are delivering, frankly, performance to the company and profit.
Sure.
It means that we'll be here tomorrow where others won't.
Sure.
So I think that the difficulty is for a controls only company that relies purely on that controls platform, that doesn't have a segue into the market like we do, because we've got 3,000 customers, so we know everybody knows us, the horse, blah blah blah.
The horse.
Yeah. So it's a path of least resistance for us to actually get those products to market.
Sure.
Whereas if you're a controls only company, you're investing heavy in software and you don't know lighting. So many of those companies have been and gone.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's different with us. So to go back to your point on controls, it's a very elegant solution. It works. It's easy. It's functional. It'll do the job. The important piece is we have many other product portfolios and many other technologies as a business that can sustain the ramp up of these different technologies simultaneously,
and to sustain maybe some errors in forecasting by the industry and how fast the adoption is going to go. Right.
Well, it's interesting. It happened in the outdoor, but it just didn't happen in indoor. When you look at outdoor control, it went from 0 to 100 overnight.
Sure.
And so I was involved in it with a company that was very successful in the UK, that had a lot of outdoor controls installations really, really rapidly, converting and putting IoT on top of streetlights. And that was I think because it's such a simplistic, ubiquitous platform that's the same everywhere, people underestimated the complexity of an indoor lighting environment and how difficult it is to layer controls in indoor.
It's a payback killer.
Yeah, well, you think about retail, right? Retail's on the decline with Amazon and all the rest of it. But 5 years ago, when IoT was taking off, it was all about retail.
Sure.
But nobody understood the different kinds of luminaires that you have to interact and interoperate with in retail. You've got spot, you've got linear, you've got wall pack, you've got wall wash, you've got troffers in a lot of circumstances, and to have a hardware system that to answer your question earlier about the form factor that'll just work with all of those different luminaires, it would cost you millions, billions of dollars to develop everything like that to get it to market. But unless you have it in every luminaire in retail, it's worthless. So that was.
We talked to a guy yesterday whose entire company is Sunset Lighting is the name of his company. And he's out here in Irvine. And so we went to see him last night. We interviewed him on the podcast, and he basically manages lighting systems for national retail accounts, and controls is not even on his radar. Like he's in the front lines right now, changing light bulbs at the retail store. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we asked him about controls, and he says his customers almost never ask him about controls.
Interesting.
And he's there on the front lines, like even closer than him and I are as distributors. So I wonder how much of it is the white tower, talking, and then all that gets blurred down to guys like Greg and I that sell light bulbs over the counter every day. And you hear about circadian health effects and IoT, but we don't hear about it from the end user customer. They're still adopting LEDs, actually. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're still amidst that. So I think it's going to be an interesting time. I don't know if controls is the right horse to ride.
Well, we've got plenty of other horses, so it's all good. And we're not flogging them to death.
Well, I really appreciate your graciousness in coming on with us just on the spot here. That's awesome, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the live stream.
Thank you very much.
Right, thanks.
Yeah, it was really great to meet you. Folks, if you listened to this and enjoyed it, you should go to BillBrownSales.com. Bill Brown, he's got to be the godfather of the lighting business.
Yeah, 60 plus years, man.
60 plus years.
16 different things they do here with components.
They're one of the biggest. Yeah, they're one of the biggest sales agencies for the lighting manufacturer rep. Great. We're going to see them, and we're going to be live streaming from their booth in a couple hours. So go to BillBrownSales.com, folks. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.